In today's video, we will be talking about 5 anoles. Not just any anoles, but these are going to be 5 anoles that are often to be considered extremely underrated for one reason or another. This video is being made to help give a special little spotlight on these anoles that much, well, I don't know, they deserve it, you know? They're cool animals, they're really cool animals, they deserve this spotlight, they deserve to be recognized by more people than like 12, you get what I'm saying? Anyways, let's get into it. Now, the Allison Anole is somewhat of a common anole that gets overlooked a good bit in my opinion, simply because I think the bigger issue with this species relies in that people who work with them aren't really like in the community really well. You know, they have them, they breed them, they do it somewhat well, but they are out here like this. Hey man, I have Allison Anoles. Wow, that's really cool. Can I, like, see them? No! Monster! Go! I don't know, that's kind of been my experience when it's been trying to learn about Allison Anoles, but except when it came to one guy, this cool guy on Instagram called Wilson's Wildlife. You know, he's basically changed my opinion on Allisons, and even made me say, oh, maybe they're actually cool and not boring animals and deserve a bit of a spotlight. But, you know, he's doing some really cool stuff. Every animal of Allison variety you've seen on the screen has been, well, his, and he's done some really neato stuff with them. One, he's been reproducing them, one, he's been promoting them really well, and his animals are extremely blue. I'm talking really blue. Like, one of my biggest critiques with this species is that they're never just enough blue. His are overly blue in a really good way. So all I'm saying is, you know, if you want an Allison, you should get them from him. I'm sure there's other people with really cool animals as well, but I mean, they won't talk to me or won't talk to most people from my experience. Anyways, super cool anole, super underrated by most, even by me on a good bit of time. Get what I'm saying? Yeah, but I'm learning, I'm changing, guys. That's why they're number 5. Now, the next one we're gonna do straight after the Allison anole is Anoles Trinidadus. This is a pretty interesting anole. Now, they're somewhat underrated by a lot of people, and I even wrote them off a good bit here and there in the past. That's because this anole is typically a green-blue animal. Most time it's simply one or the other, or highly concentrated amounts of, say, blue or green, and their unique thing is that they have blue eyeliner. But when they're an anole, you know, and they are green, that gives off the stigma of a green anole, which I mind you is not a bad anole. But from a lot of people's perspective, they want something more exotic, something more spicy, something more interesting. So, to many folks' surprise, you know, when they saw this bright neon yellow individual and found out that they can be this color variety in a full body spectrum, they were shocked. They became something I wanted to get myself, and I know a lot of other people did. Now, just saying, this animal has also been proven to, well, breed down the line. So say, you know, you have a father, you make a baby, you know, of a female Trinidadus. Female Trinidadus lays eggs, hatch out, you're gonna have yellow babies, mostly yellow babies. So it does work like a normal color thing. You know, it's just a polygenic animal, and it's being line bred. That's basically what's happening. But this is a super cool animal, super neato thing, and from everyone I've talked to who works with them, they can be somewhat bold, which I think is amazing because I love yellow animals. And imagine a little medium-sized anole, right? That's, I don't know, I've never seen one in person, so I'm kind of guessing. But a medium-sized anole, big, yellow, bright, bold animal, that's just something you'd have to die for, in my opinion. Now, shocker, I'm going to be pulling out with a left curve simply because, well, most of these anoles I'm talking about is an anole that I've considered underrated, and a lot of other people have. Now, this anole I really love. I love this animal since day one, but for some reason they've been somewhat not on everyone's super cool anole list since day one, and I don't know why. Now, I do know why, but, you know, storytelling, guys, storytelling. Let me have my writing credits, folks. Come on. But, you know, really cool anole. Let's actually talk about it. But these are a really small anole. They're technically a bush anole. They're also one of the few anoles that we have from Puerto Rico, which makes them in a really special regard, because Puerto Rico has some really neato anoles. The animal does really well in our hobby. We just don't have enough of them popping up here and there. And if you can get your hands on them, cool. Goated. That's nice. I probably will be getting some of my very first Kirgi later into this year. If you do have them, let me know in the comment sections. But it's a super underrated anole, probably just because they have this real basic color scheme. But if you really look at it, guys, and I mean look at it, you can really see how the scales just look. It kind of just looks like a perfect painting, like someone's painting perfect strokes. There ain't no messing up on the edges. It's just a beautiful animal, in my opinion. That color where the border lines meet, like where the border of the colors just meet, it's just it's beautiful. Makes them such an underrated Anole, in my opinion, because people don't like go crazy over them. I don't know why, because I love this species like crazy. Folks, to the next thing. Hey guys, it's me, Royal Anoles. So I was wondering, maybe, you know, like if I was doing cool stuff on YouTube, which I think I am, I'm not gonna lie, I'm doing really cool stuff. Maybe y'all can, you know, sub, like, share the video to your friends and family, you know, help me reach 1,000 subs, get more views on average, etc., etc. I really appreciate where we are right now, where we're going. Oh, the next one we're gonna be talking about, which is right now, is Anoles Berius. This is another bush Anole, but this is a relatively small Anole. They do pretty well in somewhat larger groups, but by the name that should tell you one thing, that they do thrive in, well, lowland forests, bush, foliage, etc., etc. And, you know, they're cool. Behaviorally, they're relatively bold, and economically, they're relatively cheap. So they make a really good animal for, you know, your beginner keeper in the Anole world. But they're very commonly overlooked because they have one really cool thing about them, which is that they have a viable gene mutation, which is translucism, aka, you know, they're translucent. You can see their insides. You can see their insides. I'm geeked. I'm geeking out right now. But, you know, this Anole is translucent on some occasions when the proper breeding practices are performed with the proper genes and all the stuff. Yeah. But, you know, cool animal, cool thing, but it gets overlooked a lot because of this gene mutation, when the wild type, in my opinion, is still really cool, fun, neato, and in my opinion, it looks best when they're paired together and next to each other. So anyways, next one. The last Anole we're going to be talking about is Anoles Berius. This is one of my very favorite Anoles, simply because they are a relatively good sized Anole. On top of that, crazy color body. I'm talking green, yellow, blue, kind of red depending on the day. Green as well, again, more green. But this is a really sick Anole because the females have that really cute derpy face, like, I'm scared. What did I do, guys? They always kind of look like they're 2 steps from breaking in half. And it's kind of cute. But they're really bold animals when it comes to females, always when they want food, you know what I mean? But the males, on the other hand, they're really neato animals. They get the size, they get the cooler features because they get the sail fin, the thing they're most known for. But they get overlooked a good bit because there aren't that many people breeding them. And they kind of fall under the same boat that the Allison did, where, you know, there are people who work with them, but they're not posting them, they're not promoting the animal, they're not showing it off, they're not really making this animal seem desirable the most, and they're not showing off all the cool, crazy things to them. For example, every morning with this species, I come in here, I see my new male, watch that video if you want to learn more about it. He's always out by the door. I look at him, and he looks at me, and he runs off to the corner, and then he pops his head up from out the lung, and he's like, "You there, man?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "You wanna go?" And I'm like, I guess so. And I go to work. And then I see him, I turn off the light, and he's like, "Hey man, what are you doing?" I'm like, yeah, I'm leaving. And, you know, we have very odd, strange interactions, but this male is surprisingly bold for a male Berius, especially in this new environment, which I think is hilarious. But these are super neat Anoles, especially you sit down, give them the opportunity to come out their shell. Anyways, in the video, if you like it, watch this video on the screen. It's a related video. I feel like making it, whatever the channel feels like you would watch